Hello everybody and welcome, I'm SonOfMowgef. It's Thursday and I'm back playing Ecosystem. I have left our simulation running for quite some time, another 4 hours or so. Completely unattended, I might add. I've been off doing other things, and as you can see from the mini-map, things have not been going well, interestingly enough. The big pool of life we had here and up here has completely died off. I've still got these little pockets. Like there's a bit there that's doing quite well, there, and a little bit here. But there's still none here. There's all this has died. There used to be like a little gap there where all this was filled with various life. You can see most of the actual non-plant life, I guess, is also pretty much extinct. I'm going to have to do something to fix that, and I'm not really sure what at this point. I do have an idea in mind. I want to take a look back here just to see what is going on. It's a lot of this bull kelp stuff, isn't it? Look at this. What happened to all that coral? What happened to all the starfish and the other stuff that was here? It's all dead. Again, I'm starting to sound like Gollum, aren't I? All dead. All rotten. Yeah, look at this. It's kind of insane, actually. It gets to about here. Look, there's a few bits of red coral here and a few bits of this sponge. Most of the blue coral that was over here has completely died out. All of this stuff is died out. We come down here. This is the area that I've been keeping my eye on. We put some sea urchins down here that I was calling anemones last week. They're all gone. There's a little bit of kelp here. Again, I think this is bull kelp. Oh, here's that little cove that I seeded last week. Most of that is dead, apart from, again, the kelp. Is that what it is? Am I calling it the wrong thing? Let me have a look. It's this stuff. Giant kelp. Oh, yeah. What I think I'm going to do is take somewhat drastic measures, depending on your definition of the term drastic. There's two big areas here. Oh, there is a little bit of blue coral here, look. And a little bit of red coral, like, over here. That's interesting. I think what I'm going to do here is reseed this and reseed that, which involves using this tool to remove a lot of this stuff, and I'm just gonna reseed it with basic plant life, and I'll spread some along here so I can hopefully, like, if I make a path along this way, this will join up with it and this slot will join up with this. But I've never used this tool, so I'm not really sure how it works. So I can just... Oh, I have to individually click. That's interesting. So I can get rid of all this. It doesn't cost me anything, which is great. But none of it is regrowing. It's all essentially dead. So you're going to hear lots of me spamming the mouse button. Let's get rid of all this. And hopefully I can create something that thrives, for lack of a better term. Like the health there is like 30. That's gonna drop because I'm removing everything. That's down to 14. These were in the hundreds when I last looked. Yeah. And I know this is making it worse technically, like less healthy, but I feel like we need to scrub this off and get something moving. Like, I'm not even sure how to describe it. Do a restart. Without actually restarting, I might add. Let me get rid of all this and all that. I'm sure I've missed big patches of it. Like, the health there is 110, and the health here is, what, 14? There's something awful has happened. Let's have a look. Even the plankton's been dying off. I've said a lot in previous episodes that the plankton has gone absolutely berserk and it was spread all the way around the map. I might reseed some of that. It's kind of the only thing I can get to follow the current. I thought the idea was that the fish and the plants would follow the current. Apparently that's not actually what happens here. Okay, I'm just going to clear a lot of this stuff out. I'm probably clearing out more than I need to. But like I say, we're kind of hitting the restart button on this area a little bit. Or a lot. Kind of a lot, actually. Let's have a look. I've got these two areas here now to play with. This area and this area. I'm going to start with just mostly pioneer plants, I think. Just to get that health of the area up. Which is... And again, because I'm an idiot, I place them somewhat randomly. This hydrilla isn't technically a pioneer plant. But it does grow very well, and it does add a lot of health. Especially when you combine it with other hydrillas. One of the reasons why I've been using it a lot. Like this. And then there's this other hydrilla that does well around hydrilla. It does a lot of... It kind of feeds off its own... cousins, I guess. It's a weird way of phrasing it, SonOfMowgef. That does well in darkness. That does well around other plant species. So I could pop some of this down. I don't want too much of it. I feel like it's another one of those plants that could, you know, cause an issue. Have a look. Yeah, is this general area that I want to seed. This does well on outcroppings, which there's a lot of around here. Maybe I can pop some of this down just around here. If it'll let me, there we go. Let's have a look. There's this, which does well around pioneer plants. And put a couple of little patches of this down. Let's have a look here. What have we got that I can use to... Wait. That does... Oh, okay. Did I not just put a bunch of this down? I've already forgotten what I'm doing. Are you surprised that my my ecosystem is on the board, like on the border of collapse? I can never remember what I'm actually doing. Okay, what about this? That does well in a current, and there is a current that goes through here. Let's get some of this down if I can. And hopefully it'll spread out. I don't know why it hasn't been spreading out is the problem. From the tutorial, I assumed that it would spread out along the line of the current. It just hasn't been doing that. Let's also get some plankton down here. Like that. Did that even do anything? Yes, sort of. Predators have no prey to eat. That's interesting. Oh, they're all dead. Everything is dead. All the life is dead. It's literally just the plants at the moment. So you can see the current here, look. It comes right through here. Maybe I should put some stuff over here as well. And again, I'm going to try and keep it a little bit more basic than I have been. Have a lot of different types of plants, so if there's a niche they can fill it rather than just crowd an area with one type of thing. Oh dear, I'm very sniffly recently. I do apologize. My allergies have been acting up something rotten. Let's have a look. There we go. Some nice hard-wearing pioneer plants to get a nice let me put it down. Christ, get a nice foothold of life in the area. And I think maybe I went overboard with the fish and they ate everything and it couldn't like recover. Maybe let's get some of this pondweed stuff down, because that does well around other plants. Okay, that changed from being alright to not being alright very, very quickly. That's fine. Maybe I'll pop some of this on the outcroppings. The health back there is 7. I do kind of... Wait, where is it? That does well in a current. I should have this stuff down here, shouldn't I? The problem is, once you've put a bunch of plants down, it's kind of difficult to put down other plants that will survive because they don't do well next to each other, despite some of them doing well next to each other. Like, this does well next to other plant species, but if you try and put it down in certain areas, it's like, no, it's got reduced adaptability and growth because you put it in the wrong place, you're an idiot. Did I put it in the wrong place? I'm not convinced that I did. Okay, let's... Did I not put already some of this stuff down? I guess I could put a little bit more down, couldn't I? I'm kind of tempted to put some of this this kelp down, but I guess now that's probably all gonna die off, isn't it? It just occurred to me that that's probably a thing that's going to happen because it does well with animal species, and there are no animal species. Like, oops. So there is that. You can see, look, like this little like stick that's going along here. I'm assuming that's near the current. Yeah, it is near the current. It comes like this, look. Let's see if I can put a few more plants down here that do well in the current. Is it gonna let me? Is it gonna let me do it? There we go. Okay, just that one bit then, is it? Alright, fine. There's space maybe over here, I can put it down. Yeah, there is some of this coral starting to grow back, I've noticed. That's a good sign. I think it's this stuff. That does well near moving plankton. And most of the plankton has died off. Maybe I should seed a little bit more. Again, I'm kind of loath to put a ton of it down. simply because it kind of went a bit crazy last time I did that. Okay, there's another like big area here. Again, I want to keep things generally in the area of the current. Oh look, there's two big areas right here. Let's get a bunch of plant life down here. It is going to be a bit frustrating for you guys, I'm sure. All this, because you're going to have to wait until next week to find out how this changed things, if it changed anything. Which, knowing me, it probably hasn't. You know, it's going to get better for a little while, and then it's just going to be back to where it was. There we go. A little bit more. A little bit more. I just want to put a little bit more down. It apparently doesn't want that. Alright, fine. Let's see if I can put some more of these down. There we go. Guess I could mix it up a little bit. Apparently this area is fairly dark, so I can put some of these mushrooms down. Or not. Again, I really don't know how much of this stuff works. Oh, I put the wrong thing down. Hang on. Oops. I thought I was on that screen. I just went like that and clicked. Oh dear. This does well near other plant species. Can I get a little bit of this down? Desperately trying to prevent this whole thing from collapsing. This has been a large sink of time for me. Letting it run 4 hours, like every single week, completely unattended, is been a bit crazy. Let's pop some of this down. It's a little bit out of the way. I think we can kind of get away with it. Somewhere around here, please. Oh no, nope, nope. It doesn't want any of that. I'm just gonna put some down. I've already resorted to just clicking things and being like, yeah, that'll do, that'll work. Apparently that hasn't been working. Like, it very, very hasn't been working. It makes me wonder now if I should clear all this green stuff out here. Let me see. I'm not sure if it makes a difference or not. It does say it's by other plants and there's no other plants around. But I think this green stuff is where plants used to be. Oh my god, look at this area. Where's that plant that does well near other plants? Where is that? I think that would be quite good to put down here. It might like revive things a little bit. Although I'm kind of surprised that it says otherwise. Oh, there's my kelp patch. Oh god. Let's find some place for this. It is possible that this is entirely my fault. The shock and the horror of that statement. Okay, let me put some more of this basic stuff down. I'm sure this is all very exciting for you guys. Where's this one that did well in the current? put some of this down, because this is near a current, right? Again, I really wish this stuff was easier to see. Yeah, the current is right here. Okay, can I get some of this stuff down here then, please? No? Oh, yep, there's some there, look. Yep, I'll put some back here. Sort of, not really, maybe. I love this, like, this kelp in the background here, like, looming. I did have a thing while, everything was, you know, running on its own. I noticed that it was like a smudge on my screen. I was like, oh, where did that come from? You know how it is, like, you'll be watching a video and you'll notice a smudge on your screen and you're like, is that on the video or is that on my screen? And then, like, the picture changes and you can only really see it under one certain, like, set of light. And I was like, nope, that's a smudge on my screen. That's definitely a smudge. So I go into the kitchen and I get my special monitor wipes and my cleaning fluid, and it was a fish. I had the screen like this. There was a smudge there, like roughly there, and it was just a fish. It was one of the fish that no longer live, and it was just hovering in one place. But when I moved, I don't know, I for some reason I just thought it was a smudge. It wasn't. I'm dumb. In case you were wondering. Here we go. There's some more life here. Again, I might... Did that even do anything? Sometimes it's hard to tell whether it does it or not. Yes, there's a pool of plankton here, if you can believe it. It's right. There's some there and there's some there. It's kind of hard to see. I'm just going to pop some down. I'm trying to be, like, engaging emergency measures to make life return to this place, but I'm also trying to do it less dumb than I was before. The problem being that I'm extremely dumb and I don't know what the problem is. I think that's one of the bigger issues here, that I'm not actually sure what the issue was. Why have you forsaken me, life, on this, I don't know. Oh no, it's call it in this environment. That's a way of putting it. Let me see if I can find other places to put this. Like, there are little pockets of life hanging around. I do want to go and examine them. If we come over here, look. Oh, according to the map. Yeah, there we go, look. And I think I may have seeded some of this last week. Like, there's a random assortment of different things, which is fine as long as they spread. The issue is I can't get anything to spread out. I can't get it to, like, propagate. So what do I do? You end up with these huge, like, dead areas. And I didn't want to be placing any of this, like, myself. I honestly just wanted to seed this area up here and have it spread out naturally. That hasn't happened. And like I say, I've been leaving this running unattended for 4 hours, like once a week since I started this map. So this would be the 16th hour that this simulation has been running at double speed. And I don't know if it's not spread out more across the map because of something I'm doing, or just due to a limitation of the game itself. Maybe a bit of both? I'm not sure. Oh, look. Here, look, there's these little, like, pockets of life that don't seem to be spreading out, but they are sustaining themselves, so that maybe that's a good thing? Convinced that it is. Oh, hang on a minute. Let's go visit the kelp zone. The kelp zone. It's like the Twilight Zone, but with less twilight and more kelp. 100% less twilight in the kelp zone. What am I saying? I should just shut up. I do like this little cove, though. I want to put things in here. Let me put some more things in here. I'm gonna clear out a bunch of this. There we go. I think that's alright. I wish I could just drag it like this. Just go like an eraser. No, it only does like the first little bit. There we go. Okay, let me see if I can get some plant life just growing here. Again, I'm gonna maybe just stick to the more basic ones and hope they'll spread out. Okay, that's outcropping. These guys like, and there is some of that around here. Reduced adaptability, nearby plant. How's there nearby plants? Everything is dead, look! It's all gone! What is it that you're complaining about? Me. It's complaining about me and the way I play things. I'm perfectly aware of that. I'm just denying it. There we go. Maybe I do things just too quickly. I don't let it settle, you know? I'm used to other games like, I don't know, like Species, where you do something and it has, like, the effect takes some time, but it's also readily apparent when things are taking effect. Do you see what I mean? Like, this looks like another one of those little areas that I seeded last week that seems to have taken hold, like it's doing all right. There's not an abundance of life here, but it's something that I feel like could, you know, survive. It could propagate. But I had a little bit of stuff to these outcroppings. I think I'm gonna try a similar experiment when I start a new map, but I may well, I know that I'm going to, because I've got plans to do exactly that thing that I was just talking about. But what I think I'm going to do is like seed an entire map with just pioneer plants and basic life. Just get it up and running as a very basic but sustainable ecosystem. Why is none of this growing or surviving? Like, they've got this big patch here and this patch here. I feel like it should be doing better than it is. What was I saying? Yeah, is to essentially seed an entire map with things like pioneer plants, just to get things up and running, just to get it moving, and then start messing with it, like putting a bunch of coral down and adding currents and that kind of thing to see how it spreads. I kind of feel like maybe that's a good idea. And again, the idea came from a completely unrelated conversation that I was having recently. Believe it or not. It was about, oh god, it was actually about bacteria. Believe me, this is the kind of person I am. I have discussions with people about bacteria. The idea being that instead of, like, if you get something like a bacteria or a fungus or whatever and you put it in a petri dish, or a petri dish, depending on where you're from, I'll be fair, and it just leave it, it won't propagate, it won't live for very long. It'll just keel over, you know, because it's got nothing to, it's not in an environment that's conducive to life. But if you put it on an agar plate, which is almost the same thing, but with a nutritional gel covering, it will thrive. And that's where I got the idea for this new map that I'm in prep for. That if I spread just basic life, pioneer plants mostly, throughout the entire map, and then add a current, and then like add life to like one corner like this was supposed to be. The idea when I started this map was to draw the current on, add life up here, and watch it spread along the line. And the only thing that ever did that was the bloody plankton. So, yeah, so that's the plans I've got for the next map. I am going to leave it there for this episode. It's been half an hour of me just waffling nonsense and randomly putting plants down, but I wanted you guys to know how things have been going and how I intend to, you know, fix it. So, or attempt to fix it. If this whole place collapses and everything dies, I'm kind of alright with it. At least I learned something. Not sure what it was that I learned, but I learned something. So, yeah, if you've got your comments, do put those in the comments section. I do get some very useful comments, very interesting comments when they're not useful, often both, which is fantastical for me. So, yeah, don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't done that already, and I will be seeing you tomorrow for Factorio, another game that I've been spending a lot of time on recently, along with this and Binding of Isaac I've got back into, thanks to one of my commenters, I Yeet You, he's called. Gave me a whole bunch of tips and hints and things for Binding of Isaac, and I've not really used some, but it's kind of revamped my enjoyment of that game, so I've been playing that a lot recently. And there's another game that I've been playing a lot recently that I want to do a video for. I wanted to do a video on it for the last like week and a half, and I haven't got round to it yet, because apparently making like 7 videos a week isn't enough for me. So there's stuff on the way. Factorio tomorrow, and probably a live stream on Sunday. I'm intending to take Saturday off like I normally do, but who knows what's going to happen. It depends on what mood I wake up in, I guess. So thanks everyone for watching. I'm SonOfMowgef. This is Ecosystem. I'll see you soon.